Yeah, I get that, Jimmy, but Greenworks has such a good thing going. I don't understand why they're doing this. Just my humble opinion, Greenworks outdoor tools are actually pretty good. I enjoy using them, and I see now they're coming out with different types of drills and other things like that, and I just don't see the big picture. At this point in time, I don't understand what's going on with Greenworks. Just a quick little recap. They came out, they have some really great higher voltage outdoor power equipment. It's worked great. It's sold in some big box stores. There's been some shakeup in those big box stores, and now you see Greenworks kind of pushing more of a DIY, lower voltage, I think it's 24 volt tools, normal tools, drills, things like that. I don't know, I guess I look at them as a higher end outdoor power equipment brand. And now when I see the low end Greenworks drills and stuff like that, I kind of go, well, what's going on? Where should my brain put these in DIY? Or they're definitely not high end at this point in time. So are they working that way? It's weird. So to give you a little bit of history, Greenworks Tools is owned by Global Tool Limited, I think. You can look all this stuff up. In 2016, Stihl bought a minority stake in their business. So that explains a lot of things that's going on with Stihl and their outdoor power equipments with batteries and stuff. But again, I view that as higher end. So there was probably a collaboration between them, and still is, I'm assuming. And now with this shakeup, and then you come up to DIY tools in now, and I guess it's not now, this is just me finding it out, and maybe you guys too, you have Powerworks, which looks like it might have been going for some time in the UK, but across the pond here, we're just getting a glimpse of it. Now the voltage looks different in the UK. Here we're getting the XB 40 and 20 volt. So this is in a Home Depot right now. I mean, total surprise to me that there's a line of Powerworks that you can get in Home Depot. I'm just baffled. So I have a friend at Greenworks, and great guy, said, hey, why don't you check this out? We'll send it to you and you just let us know what you think. So I thought, well, cool. Again, my mind goes to, hey, this looks like a DIY setup, but why, and why Powerworks, why not Greenworks? I guess it really doesn't matter. I took this guy out. It's a 15-inch string trimmer, and it looks like a DIY. Anytime I see this little guard that pushes forward, and this one, while I was beating it to get the line to come out, fell forward, but now it came out a little bit. Anytime you see this guard, I think DIY, right? I think you guys probably do too. I mean, you don't want this guard there, but either way, it's there. It folds out of the way. This is 5,200 RPMs, which was slow, and it really, you notice it. So this is really on the DIY scale of this stuff. Can you guys hear that cricket? Enough. Enough. Enough already. But it is on the DIY end. And it does interest me because it's 40 volts and we have a 40 and 20 volt battery here that's going to go to a lot of other things. And if you look this up, linked is in the description, so you can go look at their website and just see what's there. This is like a $100 tool with the battery, so it's not expensive, and you shouldn't expect much out of it. But this little section makes me feel like we're going forward in technology, and we're like, yeah, we can get some power out of this, and we can get a great tool that's going to push. And this section takes me back to 2013 when these things just came out, and you really couldn't do a whole heck of a lot with them. So it was very interesting. I just went around the barn once and really needed to be done. And there's some tall grass in there, I'll give that to you, and there's some thick weeds, but this thing really didn't do well going around there, and it would have been better, I guess, if a lot of things worked. Like, we're so low on RPM that any thick grass, like if you lived in Florida, the grass would just dominate this thing. I mean, you can hardly get through any thick grass with the .080 line, which no big deal, but we don't have enough speed to really get it to cut through things. And two, it just doesn't work when you're bump feeding. So it's a struggle all the time to get line out of it. So I guess if it would have really physically worked that way and been like, hey, you know, everything kind of worked as it should, it just needs a really light duty job. But it didn't, it just simply didn't. 15 inches was too much of a swath for it. This should be probably brought down to a 9 or a 12 and sped up a little bit so you had a little bit more speed to cut through and still be a small job. Once around the barn, which realistically is only 2 sides, that's 50 foot long. The back was all sprayed, so we really didn't do anything there. And the battery was dead, flat out. So 5 minutes of runtime, maybe, which in this battery was hot, hot, hot at that point in time, which also surprised me. So I'm really curious, I guess still, as to your thoughts, as to, have you seen this in Home Depot? Because I didn't. Did anybody else follow Greenworks as to what's going on and why? And if you have any insight, I would love to read it in the comments, because it just seems like a weird path. And I get it. All these different companies have multi-tier paths, multi-tier marketing. God, we've just done a video about that, didn't we? They're all trying to sell you at a different level. And I get the DIY level, but I guess I expect if I'm getting the DIY stuff, I want it to work, right? Because if you're buying a DIY solution and you're handing it over to most of the people that are going to buy DIY, probably not you guys. If you're watching this channel, you've seen how things go and you see how they work. But some people you'd hand this over to and they'll be thrilled, and they have every right to be. They're like, I just bought this, $100, got it on sale, $50. But when they go to use the bump feed and they don't understand why the line doesn't come out, it's interesting to me. Now, on a positive note, we get a lot of things from China, and you look at their manuals, right? And a lot of them are really bad. This one has full merit to be in Home Depot. I mean, they have everything in here from, you know, the Proposition 65 for California to how to do checking battery capacity, what happens with warranty, and their phone number, which I called, takes you right back to Greenworks. So you do have a warranty on this. But the reality is, if you look through even the larger manual, I mean, look at that. Pictures, they tell you how to do things. The English is correct. It's long. It's not just 2 pages that says pull trigger, you know, insert battery. I don't know, man. It's interesting. If there's going to be a DIY solution, is it in your Home Depot? I have a mini Home Depot as far as store sizes, so I don't always see that. It's not in mine. Lots of rambling here. None of you guys are going to be interested in this. I know that. But there's a bigger story here that we need to dive into and figure out, and I need your help to do so. So, hope you've watched to this point, so you will help me out, figure out what's going on with this stuff. Have you seen it? What do you think about what's going on? Do you know anything about the Greenworks stuff, the tools? Are you buying those things, the 24 volt tools? Let me know in the comments. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for your time. As always, have a great day.